Jamie, you weren't kidding. We really are going to the skate park.
Yeah, we're here at the plaza at the Forks and Treaty 1 territory.
And is there something special behind that?
Well, I just think it's really important to be able to know where you're from and know where you are, and you know that something like the contemporary skateboard plaza is part of this territory.
All right, so who are we going to meet?
We're meeting Graham Constant. He's of Cree heritage from a Pasquat Cree Nation. He does all kinds of things in terms of motion graphics, graphic design, web photography, and he's also a really good skateboarder.
All right, well, we'll catch up with Graham shortly, but right now we're going to spend some time with up-and-coming filmmakers with NSI's New Voices.
Scene 3, shot 2, take 1, action.
It's the real deal for Francis Concan and Kirk Furlan. They have been waiting for this day to see their story finally come to life on film.
It's been really great, actually. I was really nervous about directing for film because I've never done it before. I've done some theater directing, and that's my background, so I'm comfortable doing that, not so much with the camera stuff, so it's great to have a good team of people here to help me with that and kind of show me what to do and make sure I do it correctly.
Francis and Kirk are part of this year's NSI New Voices, an intensive program exploring the many job experiences in the film and television industry. Geared for Aboriginal and Indigenous youth between the ages of 18 to 35, New Voices allows these filmmakers an opportunity to learn more about their culture. Outdigenous is a dark comedy of a young Métis that is forced to find a job in order to support her two sisters after their parents die in a freak shark attack.
We were given some class time at the NSI New Voices program to develop a pitch for a short film, and we weren't actually given a whole lot of time, so it kind of had to come from whatever your first idea was, and that is just what popped into my head because it is kind of my life story, except the shark-related incident. But kind of that dual cultural identities kind of story really stood out to me, so that's what this is based around a lot.
Kirk has been a volunteer actor for New Voices, but this time is a participant, finding himself behind the camera as director of photography.
I'm looking for the colors. I'm making sure that the lighting is correct and that we're getting smooth shots, that everything is just going according to what she wants on her storyboards, and then we get to experiment a bit. One of the biggest things I want to do is make sure that I direct something. Directing and staying in front of the camera as much as possible if I can, just to balance out those two roles, director and actor relationships.
Francis and Kirk received support from film mentor Damon Serzishin and New Voices alumni Joey Ironstand. Joey is a shining example of what the program can lead to.
I have a seasonal job at the Winnipeg Aboriginal Film Festival, and I freelance crew gigs on shoots such as this one and other documentary shoots.
It's only the beginning of shooting Outdigenous, but already Francis has learned so much more.
For me, actually, I've gained a lot of cultural awareness about the indigenous side of my culture. I grew up in the city, and I only went home during summers back to Kuchiching, which is where I'm from. So a lot of things were really new to me, like how people from that culture perceive time and how it's not their priority, really. I'm very rigid. It's 8 o'clock, we start at 8 o'clock. And for them, it's a little more, we're here and this is when we start, which is great to know, because when you're working with different people, it's good to know how they think and how they operate. And that stops you from getting, stressed or angry, and just to know that's how people think.
Constant, and I love skateboarding, but that's not all I do. I do a lot of digital multimedia work.
Graham's latest project, Prairie Dogs, has established him as an up-and-coming filmmaker, bringing his two loves, skateboarding and friendship, together.
What inspires me is actually going out with my friends and just having that social connection. We go out and we try tricks, coming up with something new. It's a way for me to relieve some stress, get some creativity flowing. I just love it.
The Fork Skate Park has played an important part in Graham's life too.
The skate park is a big foundation for skateboarders in Winnipeg because it's It's not only world class, but it's huge. Got a huge bowl right behind me. This one-of-a-kind skate plaza, street style. It's very smooth. It's good terrain to learn on. It's an outlet for creativity. That's all I see it as. It's a way for me to just go out and release some stress.
Jamie, I guess our full journey here on Backstage 30 has taken us full circle, and we're here now once again at the Forks home.
The gathering place.
Yes, indeed. But I wanted to take this time now to chat about the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. You had a personal involvement back in 2010. What was it like and what have you gained from it?
Well, personally, it really meant a lot to me because my mother and grandmother and extended family attended residential schools. So personally, for me to learn a little bit more about the residential schools was really significant, but also because I was doing the visual arts component there. And there were about 6 exhibitions at the Forks here and across Winnipeg. And it was just really important to be able to talk about these issues, this past, and how it affects the present and the future with and through the visual arts.
So how far have we come, Jamie, and how much more do we have to go to resolve this?
Well, I think it's a beginning in terms of bringing this dialogue out and in terms of us understanding how we can relate to each other, non-Indigenous and Indigenous, together. And it's certainly beginning to that understanding.
Yes, definitely keeping the conversation going. Well, in the 75th anniversary of the Royal Winnipeg Ballet, they've taken these issues, residential schools, the TRC, and turned it into the language of dance. We go into rehearsal with Going Home Star.
The whole concept of this is that you're coming together like this, and if you have this pressure here, then you won't get all kind of thrown out at the end, right?
Dance is a language that choreographer Mark Godin knows well. He conducts the dancers like a moving symphony, but his latest inspiration has taken both him and his dancers on an emotional journey with the profound stories from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Everybody can go on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's website and you can stream the live events and you can see the courage and the pain and the hurt and the devastation to the community from these survivors when they tell their stories, when they give their testimony. But it was too raw. It was too intense to think about using that for the fodder for a ballet. Relax. Nice, nice. It's very close there.
Godin found his answer in the works of Joseph Boyden. The award-winning author collaborated with Godin to write the storyline the ballet would eventually be based on. And once again, his muse is RWB soloist Sophia Lee, who dances the lead role of Annie.
Sophia has the beauty and the lines of a ballerina, but she has the weight and the depth of spirit of a person that can stand on stage with meaning and intensity. And 1, 4. I think that's better than the scissors.
Godin and Boyden have woven a beautiful story between a young urban Aboriginal girl named Annie and a stranger, Gordon, who comes unexpectedly into her life to take Annie on a journey and ultimately learn the truth about her past.
It's like every question that she's had so far in her life, it's getting answered, and as she knows more and more about herself, she feels stronger. And that's how I like to feel too in my own life, you know? I'm strong on my own.
Sometimes it's the dance that creates the emotion, but Godin and Lee have learned so much more.
It's actually amazing how much we don't know. Like, even for me, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about this, and yeah, I'm realizing now how important it is, and I'm really lucky that I get to learn about it through dancing.
I feel like the luckiest man in the world because you get the intimacy that a dancer shares without the distance between the stage and the audience that happens in the theater. And so there's been some very special moments when people like Sophia have really touched something deep inside of her to share this story, this Canadian story. And we're the first ones to see it because we're in the studio. So that's kind of been the difficult challenges to persevere through these very sad, intense moments. Yes.
We have the mother-daughter dancing sensation. I have with me Shannon and her lovely daughter Mason. Shannon, we've just seen the Jingle Dress song. What is the significance of the Jingle Dress?
The significance of the Jingle Dress represents healing. The Jingle Dress comes from Whitefish Bay, Ontario, when a elder was very, very ill and had dreamt of the Jingle Dress, where his granddaughter Maggie was dancing in a dress, and the elder had the dress made, and after she started dancing in it, he started to heal and start to get better. So along with that, that comes where my vision comes from, the Jingle Dress. The vision was given to me in 2012, and it represents healing, and it represents life.
Oh, and so wonderful to share it with your daughter. How did you learn to dance?
I started to learn how to dance in Winnipeg. I started attending powwow clubs, and that was in 2011, 2012. And my daughter was only 1 year old and just starting to learn how to walk. So she started dancing at that period where she was beginning to walk. So we were going to a lot of powwow clubs for 2 years, and we were also I also run my own powwow clubs in my community and in Winnipeg.
How important is the tradition of dance being passed on to Mason, and how important is it for the youth to embrace it?
It's really important for my daughter to be dancing jingle with me, because it represents a bond of a mother and daughter that is taking part in a healthy lifestyle, and it's really important for the youth to get involved in dancing, because it strengthens their identity as Indigenous people, and that's my most important part of teaching powwow, is that that the youth embrace it.
Oh, well. And do you like to dance, Mason?
Yes.
Well, you're a very, very lovely dancer, and thank you both to your mom and you for being on our show. And now you're going to show us a different style of dance called the side step.
Yes.
And what is the story behind the side step?
The side step is, when we were learning how to dance the side step, it was basically like a round dance beat, where it's a hop when it's dancing, and the side step was to represent a friendship, like a healing friendship dance, because it's almost like dancing in a round dance. So that's how we learn how to perform a side step. So it's a side step is basically you're going in a circle and no one is going ahead of each other, or you're not passing anyone who's doing their side step. So it's a sign of respect.
Oh, well, thank you. Once again, we're going to leave you more with Shannon and Mason Bear performing the side step. Special thanks to Shannon and Mason Bear. They were just delightful.
They were amazing. It was so great to see mother and daughter doing that together.
Yes, and we love the dance, and sadly that means, though, that our journey is done, and we would just like to thank you, Jamie, for introducing us to some amazing people in this last hour.
You know what, thank you so much, Chi-Miigwech, for having me, and Chi-Miigwech for the artists and the Indigenous arts community. There is so much excellence to celebrate, and across disciplines, and you know, so much to learn and to protect for future generations to come.
So well put. Once again, thank you, Jamie. Thank you to all our performers. A special thanks to Kevin Hirschfield and Jessica Cable for their contributions, Bella Bellas for dressing the co-host, and Becca Taylor for the jewelry. That is a wrap for Backstage 30. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time right here on Shaw TV.
I got more love, but then the world to give, come go with me.
cream and sugar, are you ready to live? Then you move to the left and out to the right. We can stay up drinking red wine all till 9 a.m. I guess we